Hi. So listening to my other story in the background, I had it kind of going and talking to people, answering stuff, the comments, and I realized that I never told my affordable denture story, because I forget a lot. So I just want to do that really quick so I don't forget again. As you can see, my teeth are out, and that's okay because my God, it felt so good to take them out. It's like, your mouth breathes again. So, of course, right to the coffee. I love coffee. I love coffee. And I always say, it never lies to me. It never disappoints me. It never lets me down. It's always there when I need it. It warms my heart. I love coffee. Okay. So, back in February, early February, I had went into the Yakima, Washington affordable dentures. And I had went in there to obviously see how I could help myself and fix this massive problem in my face. And I noticed that it said free consultation and X-rays. With your first visit. So I thought, great, wonderful, that's perfect. So I set up an appointment and I went in. And first of all, when I went in, it was absolutely packed. There was a lot of people there. It just seemed, and it was crazy because they were leaving as fast as they were coming. So I thought, man, that's crazy. It kind of reminded me of just like cattle going through. Not saying all are like that. I am only speaking from my experience in Yakima, Washington. So, anyways, my time come. They took me back there. The aides or assistants or whatever, they went ahead and did the X-rays of my mouth, got me into the room, sat me down. They also did the I don't know what those X-rays are called, where they put that ungodly giant piece of rubber in your mouth and picture, picture, picture. And she talked to me for a moment. She was actually very nice. She talked to me. She found out, just like what I wanted, what I was, aiming to achieve out of this experience. She went over with like how much the costs are and the different tiers they had. And she was great. So she says, well, you're right here. I'm going to go grab the dentist, let him know that you're ready, and he'll be in here in a moment. So I sat there waiting. Now, mind you, it's been a very long time since I've been to a dentist, and on top of that, all six of my front teeth were caps, crowns, and root canals. And that experience alone, that dentist, I was, God, how old was I? 16 or 17 years old. I think I just turned 17. But that shot in the roof of your mouth, how it feels like somebody just uppercuts you? Like it's the worst one in all of your face. Well, he went to give that to me, and I kind of flinched, and he yelled at me. He screamed at me. And it was traumatizing, So there's that fear on top of it of, not being good enough, not doing things, not opening your mouth wide enough, not doing exactly what they say, whatever. So I'm sitting there freaking out, kind of like just tripping. And finally, she comes into the room, she lays some stuff out, and he follows her in. Now, this is where it gets interesting because I at this point, I haven't even made eye contact with him. And he walks into the room. Before he's halfway in, he says, so, how long have you been throwing up? And at first, I didn't know if I heard him right. And so I said, excuse me? And he turns, and by this time, he finally looks at me. He says, well, I'm just wondering, like, how long have you had this problem? How long have you been throwing up? And I was shocked. I was so shocked. And I always know what to say, and I always have something to say, and I'm just a very strong, powerful woman, especially since I become a mother, And I didn't know what to say. I was absolutely mortified. And I sat there for a minute, staring into his eyes, and that's when it hit me. This man actually thinks that, I don't know, what is that called? Anorexia? Actually thinks that I've spent the last 17 years of my life sticking my finger down my throat. Now, there are people out there who have that problem, and it's a true problem, and I am not dogging it in any way, shape, or form. You know, we have these problems because we deal with very hard personal things, and we tend to replace those memories and those feelings with bad addictions, bad actions. And no, I have not done that. I've never done that, ever. I mean, I grew up very poor, starving poor. So just the idea of thinking about putting food in my mouth and throwing it back up after knowing what true hunger pains are in my life, dreaming about food, crying about food, it mortified me. And I looked at him and I said, well, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never been through that. And he has the audacity to lean forward and look at me like, this is the look for you to spill it all. And I just kind of, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And he says, okay, well, we can play that. And I was like, okay, mister. First of all, I've never done that in my life. Second of all, I'm not here to tell you my life story. I'm here for you to do a service for me, a service that I'm paying for. So, and unless you hold a PhD in counseling or psychiatry or therapy, then it's none of your fucking business. Ooh, I cursed. Sorry. And he said, well, then it must be drugs. And I said, well, funny thing is that I've not addicted either. Actually, the addiction runs very strongly in my family. My father was addicted. My brother was addicted. Others were addicted. Not me. My only addiction in life ever is cigarettes. And that's bad enough. I hate it. I hate that addiction. And finally I said, you know what? You can take all of your stuff and shove it right up your ass. And I walked out. Now, in the parking lot, I'm thinking, okay, I just screwed up, you know. I need to fix this. And so, I go back. I tell them, look, he really upset me. They're like, you know what, that's fine. He felt bad about it, whatever, which I really don't think he felt bad about it. He's very smug and cocky, you know. Mr. I know everything, and he probably spends all of his time judging everyone who walks into, I mean, because if he's seen me and immediately assumed two different addictions within a 5-minute span, Lord only knows how many assumptions this dipshit makes in a day. So, I'm cursing a lot through this video, I'm so sorry. So anyways, I was like, okay, well, if I not see him again, great. This is what I want. I want this tier, and this is how I want to do it. And she's like, all right, I'm going to send all the paperwork off. We'll get everything done through the insurance. We'll take care of it all. And I left. Now, my insurance called and said, hey, everything's been approved, but we haven't heard back from them. And I thought, well, that's weird. So I called them, the office ladies. They said, you know, at first they're like, oh, hey, yeah, okay, well, we sent it off, now we're just waiting to hear back from them. And I was like, no, they called me, so they're waiting for you. Well, after 20 minutes of, you know, back and forth, she comes back on and she says, okay, well, we went ahead and faxed them what they needed, and now all we need to do is just wait. And I was like, okay. So a month later goes by. My insurance calls me again and says, hey, we can't wait much longer. You know, we waited for this and we haven't heard anything back from them. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, nothing? They're like, nope, nothing at all. Call them back. back on the phone again for 20, 30 minutes, going back and forth. She actually argued with me. Until finally, I was like, you know what? You're going to send this, and you're going to send this right now while I'm on the phone. And then I'm going to call my insurance directly afterwards and make sure they received it. And if they don't, I'm going to call your ass right back, and we're just going to keep doing this all day long if we have to. Fine. Hang up the phone. Call my insurance. Yep, we received it. Great. But they didn't put how many teeth needed extracted. All they put was what dentures you need. And I was like, son of a bitch. So I called back over there. She argues with me. This is what we did, and this is what we said, and blah, 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 blah. I just hung up. Called my insurance back, said, hey, can you email me what they sent you? Sure, no problem. They emailed it to me. I called them back. I asked, what email can I send this to you right now over the phone? Because I just want to show you something. Gives me the email, send it to her. She opens it up. What? Yeah, you see what you did there? Fix it. Please fix it. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I am in massive pain. I have tons of infection. I'm a single mother trying to take care of 3 kids, working my ass off. Fix this. I need to get this done. No problem. We'll fix it. Great. Another month goes by. Insurance calls. Haven't heard a thing. Call back over there. Lady swears up and down that she sent it. Finally, I became so angry. I told her that the dentist, and everyone in that office can shove everything up everyone's ass, and hung up the phone. That's when I realized that I was going outside of my thought process. And again, I've told you, you have to believe in the moment. I look at everything as a sign from God. Take it how you will. Everyone has their own religions. Everyone has their own thing that they believe in and they hold on to, and it gets them by. Great. I don't judge anyone for anything. Me personally, I take everything as a sign from God. And I should have known that first moment when he looked at me in my eyes and threw out those assumptions and made me feel about that big, that was God telling me this isn't the place for you. Leave. So that was my bad. I should have listened right then and there. So if it doesn't feel right off the bat, listen to your gut. Listen to that instinct, because this is a very important process. It's a very scary, traumatic, serious process. It's like this is a commitment for life. It's like marriage, you know. It's like having a baby. Serious thought and time and effort need to be put into this all around, you know. The dentist, that's your partner. It's either the man you're about to marry or the child you're about to birth. You need to really feel that connection, because it's very important. Right now, my connection's great. I feel wonderful about my denturist. I'm very happy with the choice I made. I'm very glad that everything happened the way it did. At the time, not so much. He made me feel horrible about myself. I am, like I said, I'm very small. I'm 5'2", and most of my life has been about 100 to 105 pounds. So I've always been super, super small. And the bad teeth didn't help either, because I can barely eat. My diet was very, 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 very limited. And to have to deal with this every day for all of my life, and then to somebody to put such an assumption on me as a person, it's fucking devastating. It was horrible. It was a horrible feeling, and I don't ever want to feel that way again. So if you walk into that dental clinic, the dental office, the denturist, wherever it is you're going to get this process done, and you come across a moment where you feel belittled, you feel judged, you feel you don't feel confident about their mentality and their capabilities and their educational input on whatever jobs that they're doing, leave. It's not worth it. There are so many others out there, so many good dentists and good denturists that absolutely believe in what they do, and that right there is what matters. So trust and believe in yourself, and listen to your gut. So that's my story, and this time I cursed, but you know, oh, you seen the real side of me? But it did upset me. It was an upsetting moment. It was a very upsetting moment. And not worth it. It wasn't worth all the 3 months. 3 months. And if I would have just listened and accepted and acknowledged that very first, him staring at me, waiting for me to confess all my sins like a freaking priest or something. If I would have listened to that moment right then and there, I probably would have had my teeth done back in February. I probably would have walked into Columbia Basin Dentures a year ago. But instead, and then I got, I started my own business, and because that actually pissed me off to the point where I was just like, I'm taking on the world, And I started my own business and became a federal contractor, landed my first and won my first federal bid, and spent the rest of my, all summer long on that contract. I spent most of my days away from my girls, and it was a balanced act for sure. So I couldn't have done anything then, so I'm glad. I'm absolutely totally glad that it happened the way it did. Everything happens for a reason. Trust and believe in that. So that is my affordable denture story. Now this does not go for all affordable dentures. This is only my personal experience with one single affordable dentures in all of the United States of America, located in Yakima, Washington. Just my experience. So, all right, everybody. Mission completed. I actually kind of remembered something a couple days later, but still, I remembered it. And there you go. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say for tonight. And I swear, this is going to be my last video for a couple of days, because I am probably boring you to death. So, you guys have a great night, and I will see you sometime next week. Okay? Bye.